Hello, welcome to Monday, October 26th, daily instructional videos. Welcome to the second 9 weeks. Have this last 9 weeks to get through, and it will carry over after Christmas for a little bit. But we have a lot to get accomplished in this 9 weeks, a lot to do, a lot to learn moving forward. A lot of students are going to be coming back face to face. Some of you are still staying remote. But everybody's going to have to really work hard to keep grades up so that we can be successful this second 9 weeks. So let's get started. So I would like for you to go to Google Classroom and click on the warm up for today and complete the Google form. What you're going to do is go to Skyward, and you're going to see what your grade is for English 1. For the T1 is where you would look for your first 9 weeks grade. Remember, you will take, to get your semester grade, you're going to have to take the T1, the T2, whatever you get this 9 weeks, plus there's a percentage of your semester exam. And when you add those together, that will make up your first semester average. And you need to make a passing average in order to get your half a credit. And you need a full credit in order to get credit for English 1. So let's make sure we're keeping up on grades. Those of you that were not successful the first 9 weeks cannot afford any wiggle room at all. So if you have any problems or need any help, you need to make sure you reach out to me and let me know so that we can get you on track. And that goes for face-to-face and remote all together. So I want you on your Google form to look at your grade. I want you then to reflect on that grade. Is that really a reflection on how well you know the content or not know the content? Or is it really a reflection of maybe you not being able to get work done? So kind of think about those things, but set 3 goals for yourself for the second 9 weeks. What is it you want to accomplish? Where you want to find success? What are you going to work on? So think about those things and do a written response. Make sure you use complete sentences, please. Pause the video and do your Google form. All right, so we're going to go over, I'm sorry. So today you are going to analyze the function of irony. We're going to watch TED Talk videos or TED Ed videos over irony, the 3 different types of irony. And then you will engage in I will engage in the text by annotating unfamiliar words, important ideas, and main ideas of paragraphs, and generate questions about the text before, during, and after reading to deepen your comprehension. And you will do that over a flash fiction called Senor Novoa. And it's really short, but really good. So this week is Red Ribbon Week. Just letting everybody know what each day's dress-up themes are. Today is red. Tuesday is wearing Western. Wednesday is matching outfits. Thursday is your career, your dream career. And Friday is your favorite character. So a little bit of going over recapping some classroom rules and procedures. Some of this does not apply to the remote, but if you do ever return from remote, you'll just need to be reminded of these things. So health, of course, and safety is very important to us at DHS. And so we have these guidelines that you are to, when possible, stay 6 feet away from each other. No hugging, okay? No sharing materials and things like that. You're to wear your mask at all times, pretty much. And unless there's a situation where you're far enough away where you can take your mask off, and of course at lunch when you are eating. But make sure at other times your mouth and your nose are both covered. The teacher will remind you to pull your mask up if you are not covered. Wear your student ID. Make sure it's visible around your neck. And if in the mornings, if you forget your ID, you can go get a temporary ID as long as you do it before, I think, 7 o'clock. And it won't cost you anything, and there's no punishment for it. But make sure you put the sticker on, visible again in the chest area, probably like above your heart, and so that teachers can see it, and they don't have to stop and ask you for where's your ID. In the classrooms, please do not move the desks. They are situated how they're meant to be in order to try to put some distance. So please leave the desks where they are. Sit in your assigned seat only and stay seated. There's no getting up and moving around during class. If you need to get out of your seat, you need to raise your hand and ask for permission. Always throughout the day, make sure you are washing your hands and keep using hand sanitizer. We for face-to-face kids, we're doing our warm-ups, of course, in our book. You make sure you date your warm-up in the title at the top of the page for the week, and then for each entry, make sure you put the date of the entry. Remote, of course, you're going to continue to do yours on the Google Forms. Remember, remote students, this is the first thing you should do immediately. Just like the kids in face-to-face, this is the first thing they do when they come to class. They walk in, they read the board, and they take care of their warm-up. And that is your job too, and it's also part of your attendance for class. So make sure you are taking care of that. Remote students, if you do not do your warm-up in time, I do not count it. I count it wrong, or I take points off, half points off for not completing it on time. And each day is 20 points for a total of 100. So please make sure you're taking it, because I do not go back and double check on the warm-ups. It will just be counted wrong for that day. If you finish early, please don't distract others who are trying to get their work done. And you can read a book, do other homework, but do not distract others. And of course, no phones. If you want to be on your phone, you do that out in the hall before class. But no phone use inside the classroom unless I've given you permission to use your phone for academic purposes. And then, of course, we'll go over the warm-up when the timer goes off. Leaving class, everyone's to stay seated until the bell rings. You're not allowed to leave until everyone is seated. So there's no lining up by the door waiting to leave. Please keep the room clean, and we will not leave until all the trash is picked up. And make sure you are being cautious as you're walking out the door, bumping into each other and giving each other space. Bathroom, with the bathroom pass, we have 3 during the 9 weeks. You have 3 passes. You are able to go the first 20 minutes class, as long as I'm not giving any kind of instruction or teaching. You cannot use the bathroom the last 20 minutes of class. That's for others. Odd number classes do the last 20 minutes. Even numbers use the first 20 minutes of class. You need to leave your phone on my desk when you go to the restroom, and the best time to go take care of restroom breaks is between passing periods and at lunch. Technology, of course, this is a no phone zone unless we're using it for learning purposes. This is your one warning. If I see it, I take it up. I don't give you any more warnings. The first time I will return it to you at the end of the day, but any other time after that, I will take it to the office and your parents will have to come pick it up. You have to pay for it. Chromebooks are available if you need technology in class and you don't have a phone. And of course, the Chromebook rules apply. Make sure before you touch a Chromebook that you do use the hand sanitizer that's there by the Chromebooks. Collaboration, of course, is something that we will be working on throughout the year. Working together, we need to always be respectful. It is a privilege to get to work in a group, so make sure you don't abuse it so you don't lose it. Everyone needs to participate. Everyone will have a role, and then we will work on keeping as social distance as possible. But when we do sit in groups, we need to make sure that we are always wearing our mask. And even in the classroom, masks need to be on at all times. Absent and late work. You're responsible for completing all work you miss while you're absent. If you do not complete the work, you will receive a 0. Absence does not excuse you from the work. Absence work can be found in Google Classroom. So if you're absent, you could look and see what you missed for the day, especially if you've missing several days in a row. It would be good for you to look at that and maybe do the online assignment so you don't fall behind. Remember, however many days you miss is how long you have to make up your work. So 2 days absent equals 2 days to return and make up work. If you miss for more than 3 days in a row, you'll be given a number of days you miss plus 1. So 4 days absent equals 5 days to make up. If you're absent for a test, you must come to the afternoon tutorials to make it up ASAP. And late work will be accepted up to 1 day late after the due date. After 1 day late, the 0 stays. So this is something I was extremely lenient on last 9 weeks. And I gave excessive late grades for 50s, which is, of course, against the pre-AP policy. But we were in a new time, a new situation, and I was trying to give everyone a chance to adjust. But that adjustment period for 9 weeks is now over. And I will be following the AP contract, pre-AP AP contract, and you are not allowed to have work turned in beyond 1 day late. And then face-to-face, I'm going to be putting the assignments on the board when they're assigned, when they're due, and the last late date. And I'm going to try to put those on your worksheets as well, or make you write those down so you do not forget. It will be your responsibility to turn in your late work. I'm not going to be asking for it. That is not my responsibility to get your late work. It's your responsibility to turn it in and turn it in on time. I'm not going to take the excuse, oh, I forgot, it was in my binder, I didn't remember. That is your responsibility. That is not my responsibility. That is going to have to be your problem. That is not my problem. You have to be responsible. All right, so we've recapped all those. Let's go on to going over irony. So how many of you remember what irony is? Hopefully you do. Irony is a literary device that creates a contradiction or discrepancy between appearance and reality, between expectation and outcome, or between meaning and intention. And there are 3 types of irony. We have situational, verbal, and dramatic. So as you can see in this picture, things I hate. 1, vandalism. How ironic, since it is vandalizing, using spray paint on a building. 2, irony, of course, using irony. And 3, list, of course, and it is a list. All right, so let's go over verbal irony. So that's a language that deliberately contradicts what the speaker actually means. Sarcasm is a form of verbal irony, but it's not all verbal irony. But not all verbal irony is sarcasm. Events that contradict the character's or reader's expectation. What happens is often the opposite of what is expected to happen. So look at the situation and how does everyone believe it was supposed to happen? And then if the opposite happens or something shocking or different comes about, that would be situational irony. Dramatic irony is when the reader or the audience is aware of an important truth that the character does not know. Now, this is very typical of like scary movies. Like, you know, where the monster is behind a door and the girl's going to open the door or something like that. Romeo and Juliet has dramatic irony because we read at the beginning of the play that the 2 teens are going to fall in love and die. So we're aware of that before it actually happens. So we know as we're watching the play, every time they're with each other or, you know, fighting for each other, we know that that's not going to last. Oh, so let's watch a video on verbal irony. I'll let you pause the video. I'll let you continue. I'm going to pause the video and let you continue watching it. Okay, you should have watched the video on verbal irony. Now here and watch the video on situational irony. So you can play that. And then the last one is to watch the video on dramatic irony. And all these videos should be a good refresher. Okay, now that you've reviewed the types of irony, let's see how well you know and how well you can identify the types of irony. After falling off her bike and breaking her leg, Sandra has to wear a large cast. Fed up with people asking her if the accident hurt, she starts telling them, "No, it felt great." So what type of irony is this? It is verbal. Of course, she's meaning the opposite of what she's saying. In the novel Wonder, Julian and his mother tried to get Augie kicked out of school. It turns out that Julian is one who doesn't return for the following school year. What type of irony is this? This is situational. So the opposite happens. We thought Augie was going to end up getting kicked out, and then Julian's the one who doesn't return. So this would be situational irony. Rosalind, in As You Like It, disguises herself as a man to escape from her uncle. The audience knows she's a woman, but other characters are fooled. What type of irony is this? This is dramatic irony because the audience is aware of things that the characters in the story do not know. The doctor who is scheduled to give the children flu shots was homesick with the flu. What type of irony? Of course, this is situational. We wouldn't. It's kind of ironic that the person who's giving the flu shot is actually home with the flu. All right. In Beauty and the Beast, the audience knows from the beginning of the movie that the Beast is actually a prince. Beauty does not find out until the end. What type of irony? That would be dramatic because we are aware of information that Beauty is not aware of. In the book Holes, Stanley is sent to Camp Green Lake. He imagines having fun and water skiing, but the camp is actually a dry desert. What type of irony? That would be situational, the opposite of what he was expecting. In the book Thief, Liesel lives in Hemel Street, which means Heaven Street, but it's really a miserable place. What type of irony is this? This would be situational. We have the irony of the name contradicts the actual setting of the place. The slogan from the Hunger Games, "May the odds ever be in your favor," is repeated throughout the book, when really the chances are that all but one of the players will die. What type of irony is this? Again, this is another example of verbal irony. Okay, now that we've practiced, excuse me, remote students, you will be annotating. You should have the link in Google Classroom. I'll go there and we will see it in first period. There it is. It says today's date, read RL only, read and annotate Senor Noboa. You click on that link and it will take you to the text, which looks like, let me find my link here. This is Senor Noboa. This is not exactly how yours will look. Let me show you what it will look like. Okay, so here it is. Once you click on the link, this is what it will look like. Make sure you have the audio you can listen to. Make sure you read the background information. There's some important information about peons and peonage, which is like an indentured servant. So make sure you read over that. You read about the author. Always focusing on our essential question. Remember, how can words inspire change? How does that tie into this story? And make sure whenever you're annotating, and remember you are circling words you don't know, make sure you make a note and you define what those words mean. You're underlining main ideas or important information and maybe main ideas. So anything you find important, make sure when you pink underline that you also make notes. Anything you should always have notes throughout your text. That's what annotation is. If you have no notes, you're going to lose points. You will not. Absolutely no notes is not going to get a passing grade. So make sure you're always, anything you highlight, underline, circle, make sure you take a note. And then if you have any questions or anything that you're not sure about, challenges your comprehension, you can highlight it whatever color you like and then put a question mark in the question box and write down what your question is. And as you can see, these are a lot of notes already taken on this very short text. So make sure you're just looking for those main ideas, main important information. Maybe look for, this is flash fiction, so you could look for conflict, for resolution, for any symbolism, any imagery. You can take notes on things like that if you're unsure what you should do. If again you're unsure, then just go right here, click on these, highlight these, and then write what's the main idea in a few words of each paragraph. Maybe you can chunk paragraphs. You could say paragraph 4, 3, and 4, or blah blah blah. But as long as you're taking notes and reading and thinking, and I can see that you're taking an active role in learning, you're going to be successful with your annotations. Make sure you are following the annotation key as in the Google Slides right here. And if you have any questions or need any help, please let me go. We'll discuss this book, or sorry, not book, the short story, this flash fiction more tomorrow. Y'all have a great day.